Hi and welcome in this new video where you will discover how to create real-time event-driven data pipelines, which means as soon as you receive an event, that triggers your data pipeline in real time. My name is Mark Lamerty, Head of Customer Education at Astronomer, best-selling instructor on Udemy, and if you don't want to miss anything about Airflow, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, that will help me a lot, and smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. In Airflow, you have different ways of scheduling your data pipelines. The first and the most common way is time-based. For example, here, this data pipeline runs every day at midnight, as you can see by the schedule, with the daily value, which is a cron expression. Now, in addition to the time-based scheduling data pipelines, you have also the data-based or data-aware scheduling data pipelines. And now it's a little bit different because your data pipeline runs based on data. For example, here you have an asset user, and as soon as this user asset is materialized, that triggers the corresponding data pipeline, the consumer DAG. Indeed, this data pipeline depends on the user asset. So again, that's how you can schedule your data pipelines based on data. But since Airflow 3.0, you have another way of scheduling your data pipeline, which is based on real-time events. Event-driven scheduling, if you don't know about it, is a subtype of data-aware scheduling. Remember, when the user asset is materialized, that triggers the data pipeline. This is data-aware scheduling. Well, here, event-driven scheduling is a bit different because your DAG runs based on messages posted to a message queue. And a message queue is actually a service that allows you to send and receive messages between different systems. Some very popular examples of message queues are Amazon SQS, RabbitMQ, or Kafka, which I'm pretty sure you are familiar with. A major difference with data-aware scheduling, which happens within Airflow, is that with event-driven scheduling, the messages that are received in the queue are sent by services or tools that are outside of Airflow. Okay, so that means this message in the queue is triggered by an event that occurs outside of Airflow. So for example, if you have a Spark job that sends a message into the queue, or if you have a web service that sends a message to the queue, again, all of those events that occur outside of your Airflow instance, that can trigger your data pipelines. And that's why this feature is so powerful. In a nutshell, imagine that you have a front user interface where one of your users clicks on a button that creates an event which is sent to your message queue, could be SQS or Kafka or whatever, and that triggers your data pipeline. And as you can see, the message is also passed along to your DAG, which means you can read what you have in that message. For example, data related to the user that clicked on the button and so on. So that's how it works in a very high-level overview. Now it is time to implement your first event-driven data pipeline. The first step is to go to your AWS account, and then let's create a user that will be dedicated to your Airflow instance. So for that, you create a new user, and let's call it Airflow SQS, and then next again, and we can just create that user. Okay, so now we have this new user. You can click on it, Airflow SQS, and then you go to security credentials, and now we need to create an access key. Okay, so remember that from Airflow you will have to connect to your AWS SQS, and so that's why we need to create an access key. So let's create that key, and we can select third-party service, and then I understand, click next, and then create access key. And now you have your access key. So make sure that you store it somewhere safe because you won't be able to see it again. Last but not least, we need to attach permissions to that user. And just for the sake of that example, we're going to give the administrator permission. Obviously, you should not do that in the real world. So let's go to the permissions and then add permissions like that, attach policies directly, and let's pick administrator access. And then we can just click on next, add permissions, and that's it. Okay, so at this point, you have the user ready. Now let's move on to the next step. Remember that the purpose of event-driven scheduling is to trigger your data pipeline as soon as there is a message in the message queue. And here we are going to use AWS SQS for the message queue system. This is the only message queue system that Airflow supports as of today. but you can expect that other queues will be supported in the future Airflow releases, such as Kafka or even RabbitMQ. But for now, only SQS. So let's create that SQS queue. We just need to go to Amazon SQS, and then you click Create Queue. Then you have the choice between a standard queue or a FIFO queue. You can stick to standard one, give a name to that queue. So let's say Airflow queue, and then you have some configuration settings here. We can keep them by default, encryption as well, access policy, and so on. So let's keep all of that by default, and you just click Create Queue. Okay, so now the queue is set up. The next step is to configure Airflow to access that queue. To set up the Airflow environment, I will use the Airflow CLI. If you don't know about it, truly it is the easiest and fastest way to run Airflow locally. It is open source, free, you don't have to be an Astronomer customer. In my opinion, again, it's just the easiest way to run Airflow locally. So just try it. You go to the following website and then you follow the instructions. If you don't have it according to your operating system, it is pretty straightforward. So once you have the Airflow CLI, you are ready to set up your Airflow environment. Obviously, if you don't want to use it, you don't have to. You can stick to the Docker Compose file. Once you have the Airflow CLI, you can set up your project. So I'm going to create a new folder, Airflow-SQS, and then let's go into that folder. And here we can type Astro dev init to initialize our Airflow local environment. From there, I'm going to open my code editor. With that, the next step is to install two providers. The first one is the Airflow common messaging provider that brings some functionalities so you can wait for messages in a queue. I will come back at that provider later. And then you have the Airflow providers Amazon to interact with your AWS SQS queue. So to install those two providers, as we are using the Airflow CLI, it is pretty straightforward. You just open requirements.txt and then you paste the two providers as well as this package to interact with the AWS CLI. And then you save the file. Next, you need to run your Airflow instance. So in the terminal, type astro dev start if you are using the Airflow CLI, as we need to create an Airflow connection to connect to our AWS SQS queue. All right, Airflow is up and running. The next step is to go to admin and then connections, create a new connection, and let's call it AWS_default with the connection type AWS. And then you have some standard fields. So here we can just put for the login the access key that you've created earlier. And for the password, it is the secret access key. Again, you have created that already. Then you have some extra fields here. Let's create a new one, which is region_name. And you should put the region where your queue is. And in my case, it is US-East-1. So here I can just put US-East-1. And then you click on save. Okay, so at this point, you have successfully created your AWS connection. Okay, now we have everything set up. The last part is to create our event-driven data pipeline. So for that, you open the DAGs folder and let's create a new DAG. We're going to call it Event-Driven DAG. Okay, so let's say event-driven.py. Then you need to import the message queue trigger. So from airflow.providers.common and then messaging triggers message queue, and you import the message queue trigger. I will come back at what the message queue trigger is in a few seconds. And under that import, you need to instantiate the message queue trigger. So to instantiate the message queue trigger, it's pretty easy. Let's create a variable trigger equals to the message queue trigger. And then that object expects a few parameters. The first one is the connection to your AWS SQS queue. So here it is AWS_default. And then under that, you specify the queue and you will find the URL of your queue right here. Then just under that, you can specify another parameter, which is waiter delay. And let's set it to 30 seconds, which means the trigger will check the message queue every 30 seconds. All right, maybe you don't know what is a trigger, so keep in mind that a trigger is an asynchronous Python function that runs in the Airflow triggerer component. And if a trigger inherits from the base event trigger, which is the case with the message queue trigger, then it can be used with another concept called AssetWatchers for event-driven scheduling. And that trigger is responsible for polling the message queue for new messages when a new message is found, then the trigger event object is created and the message is deleted from the message queue. Okay, so that's how it works. Every 30 seconds, the trigger checks if there is a new message in the message queue asynchronously, and if there is a new message, then a trigger event object is emitted. Now we have the trigger that checks the message queue. The next step is to create an asset, and more specifically an asset watcher that watches for new messages. So just under that import, you type from Airflow and then SDK import asset and then asset watcher, as well as DAG and task. Then just under the trigger, you create a new asset. So let's say SQS asset Q equals to asset. And then you're going to give the name SQS asset Q with the watcher's parameter equals to a list of one asset watcher that takes the name SQS watcher and the trigger corresponding to the trigger you've just created right here. Okay, let me give you some explanations. So here we've just created an asset watcher, and an asset watcher is a class in Airflow that watches one or more triggers for events. In that case, we are watching the message queue trigger. When a trigger fires a trigger event, which is our case, as soon as a new message is in the queue, that creates a trigger event object, the asset watcher updates the asset associated with it and creates an asset event object. And that asset event object will be used to trigger our data pipeline. So just to show you that, now we have this asset, okay, SQS asset queue. What we're going to do is create our DAG with the DAG decorator, and the schedule parameter is going to be equal to the SQS asset queue, which is this asset. And so just like that, as soon as the trigger detects a new message in the message queue, that creates a trigger event object. Then the asset watcher detects this trigger event object, and it creates an asset event object that triggers the data pipeline. Okay, so that's how it works. So now we have the DAG object here. Let's create the data pipeline just below. So event-driven DAG. And then we can create a task that takes a special parameter triggering asset events. Okay, this is a reserved parameter which is used by Airflow. And then we can just loop over the events by creating that loop event in triggering asset events. Then you pass the asset here, and then you can print the content of a given event like that. And that's how you create an event-driven scheduling data pipeline. So now let's save the file and let's verify if it works. As we've created a new DAG, either you wait or you just restart your Airflow instance. So Astro Dev restart. Once Airflow is up and running, if you go to the DAGs, you should be able to see your DAG. Let's make sure that you turn on the toggle here so it listens to your message queue. Then from your AWS console, if you go to your queue, you can send a message. So click on send and receive messages. And here we're going to type a message like hello from AWS. And let's click send message. All right, so the message has been sent and is ready to be received. Let's go back to the Airflow UI and see if that's going to trigger our data pipeline. So for now, we don't have any runs. We may need to wait a little bit. And if you refresh the page, you can see that your DAG has been triggered as expected. So if we click on that task from the first DAG run, you can see the content of your message right here, hello from AWS. That's it for this video. Now you know how to create event-driven scheduling data pipelines using AWS SQS, the Asset Watcher, and the triggers. This is a super powerful concept. Keep in mind that for now it is only SQS, but other message queue systems will be supported very soon. And don't hesitate to play with that new concept. I'm sure you have a ton of questions. If so, please ask in the comments below, and I see you for another video. Take care.